Hi folks, so straight off the back of CES, we've got a couple interesting products to show you. So we were sent a set of Thermaltake's new DDR4. So what's special about this is that it has the ability to have a water block on it straight out of the box. So they come with the heat spreaders pre-installed, and then a water block which you attach on the top just using some standard screws. The idea being that you can interface this with, I want to say, a W4 or a W5 water block, which has the same aesthetic. And then they both plug into an RGB Plus controller. So if you say got ring trio fans or maybe some LED strips, you can have them all running at the same time from the same controllers, and then hopefully sharing the same effects. So the memory itself comes with SK Hynix C-die ICs on the inside and sports these black heat spreaders. They've got a nice beveled edge around the outside, sort of similar to a Samsung SSD actually. So it's a nice simple look. And then you take the water block, it simply goes in through these holes using the screws supplied. So you'll notice at the back of the water block, which will be at the top on the motherboard, you've got a small little cable here for the RGB. Now what that does is that connects to an extension cable which comes in the box, like so. And this is the same sort of connection that you'll find at the back of one of the Plus water blocks. And the idea is you take this, you write it behind the motherboard, maybe underneath or around the back, that's where I put my one. And then you connect the other end into your controller. So this is a Ring Plus controller. It's not as new as one of the Ring Trio controllers, which is more probably what you're likely going to be using. And then that will just plug in like so. And then after you power it up, it has a Molex connection on this side. On this side, you take your USB cable, which again comes in the box, and then plug this side into an internal USB header. So this is quite a long cable just to give you a reach, but you can obviously use longer or shorter ones depending on how big your chassis is. Now, one handy little feature that I found is that this is just a micro USB connector. So you actually can use a standard USB-A to micro USB just to connect this to the outside of a case. So if you want to get all your lighting working maybe on a rig that isn't connected up or fully powered up yet, you can actually take the controller, plug it into an existing computer or a laptop. I only used a little Intel NUC to power this big fan wall, so I had like 30 devices running off a single USB 2 header. You can just take a normal cable, just plug it into a normal USB 2 port, and you can then configure it from the software. And it's quite a simple way of doing things outside of the computer, just in case everything doesn't line up perfectly the first time. So the idea is you can have a coherent system where everything flows from one thing to another. So we're going to be testing it out, putting it inside a system, seeing how it works. Does it actually line up? And then later on, we're going to be doing a proper review where we test all of the thermals, and then also seeing, does the new coolant stack up? Because we've been sent some of that as well. So the new P1000 coolant is basically a direct replacement for C1000. So you can use it inside Thermaltake's own kits or other water cooling kit if you're maybe running from different manufacturers. We've got some glass tubes here to hand. So what we're going to be doing is taking a little bit of the white one, a little bit of the red, putting them into the tubes. We're going to cap them off, and then we're just going to leave them. We're going to put them on the side, do absolutely nothing with them for a while, just to see what happens. Because traditionally, most pastel coolants, because they're based on a particle, they will fall out of suspension if there's no pump running and if there's no flow. So we're going to see, does this behave in the same way? Because I've been told that this doesn't use the same kind of formula. So instead of being powder-based, it uses a different system. So in theory, that should mean that it won't fall out of suspension as easily, if at all. So we're going to put that to the test. And then later on, when we revisit some of the components here, we're going to be seeing if any changes have happened. And then we're also going to be putting it inside that system as well and seeing how well does it hold up. So let's pop it in and take a look.